You all know I like the original Auraspeed 90K very much, so is this metallic version better than the original version? Let's find out. So Anasan has been playing with this Auraspeed 90K metallic for quite a while now, and he's really had a good year thus far. And I was surprised Victor held out this long before launching this 90K metallic, because if I was Victor, I'd get it out quicker to you guys. First of all, this is the third generation or iteration of the Auraspeed 90K racket after the original version and the 90K2. This 90K metallic has now got the metallic carbon fiber treatment after the Ruger metallic as well as the Drive X10 metallic, both of which I've already reviewed here. Also, this is the best looking Auraspeed 90K model too, and immediately you will have noticed a shift in design and color scheme from the previous two generations, and this metallic version has very clean fonts and structured decals. The pale turquoise color scheme goes extremely well with the orange Auraspeed decal, and my favorite segments are those holographic and reflective decals on the racket, especially the pearlescent honeycomb design around the T-joint as well as the 10 and 2 o'clock segment. It just looks very different to the previous two versions, and I think this is a big upgrade in terms of looks. Other changes you will notice include the shaft of the 90K metallic having dimples like golf balls do. Normally dimples are used to control and manage the airflow around an object, but I guess we don't swing fast or long enough to really feel any significant difference compared to a standard round shaft. But I do like that Victor is doing something different here compared to the previous models. Another change you will immediately notice is the 90K metallic going back to a wooden handle. The first generation 90K had a wooden handle before the second generation 90K2 went over to Victor's proprietary plastic handle, the free core handle, which I personally do like, but it does make rackets feel that little bit softer and spongier. For the 90K metallic, where the key difference is having that extra bit of stiffness, it had to return to a wooden handle to enable that stiffer and crisper response from the racket. Also, the stiffness rating decal on the 90K metallic does show it to be stiffer compared to the previous two generations too, so we'll see how it plays when I playtest it later in the video. And because the racket handle has now gone back to a wooden handle, the cone cap is also now a similar one to the 90K first generation. Remember to protect your precious badminton rackets from chips and scratches with the premium racket protection tape with free delivery worldwide, also on ckydv.com/shop. We also have some super limited edition player signed prints too. In terms of measured specs, the Auraspeed 90K metallic has had the same shaft diameter and length as the previous generations, coming in at 7mm in diameter and 21cm in length. They also have the same handle length of 17cm, even though they are made of different materials. In terms of the racket frame, I measured the 90K metallic to have a thickness of 10.2mm around the 3 and 9 o'clock region, whereas it went even thinner down to 9.9mm around the 10 and 2 o'clock area. You will also notice many of the design features of the previous generation, such as dynamic sword, being transferred across onto this current generation frame too. The recessed frame area of the 90K metallic is also still consistent with previous generations at 40% top half recess. However, when I look closer, the 90K metallic have had its grommets transitioned to the embossed version of grommets, which are present on all newly released rackets, especially in 2024. I personally do like the embossed grommets, but the only downside is they feel sharper or rougher when you run your fingers through them, and you might scrape yourself if you catch them on your leg or arms while swinging it around. In terms of the actual frame dimensions, the 90K is just slightly shorter at 23.7cm tall compared to 24cm from the previous generations, but slightly wider at 19cm compared to 18.8cm on the 90K2 and 18.5cm on the original 90K. The test racket I had was a 4UG5 spec racket, and it was rated to 29 pounds for string tension, which was the same compared to the first generation 90K, but 1 pound down on a 90K2, which was rated to 30 pounds on the 4U model. In terms of stringing, I had the 90K metallic strung to my usual tension of 27 by 29 pounds in my usual Aerobite string for consistency. So how does it actually play? Just from dry swings alone, and you can feel that the 90K metallic is fast. It immediately feels less hit heavy compared to the 90K2, and it feels like it's gone back to its original roots of the original version, which is what made the 90K so good in my opinion. For those of you who plays with the 90K2, you'll certainly feel that this 90K metallic is noticeably stiffer and crisper compared to the free core handled version. For you guys that love the version 1 like I did, you will also find this 90K metallic just a little bit stiffer, which is great if you like super responsive rackets, but actually could be a double-edged sword. So when I had the racket freshly strung, and because of the additional stiffness from the racket and string bed itself, anything that is not timed correctly will just feel dead and not go anywhere. Many of you will understand this feeling when playing with a stiffer than usual racket. Having a stiff racket is great only if you're able to time and leverage it properly. But this thing is fast, and because it's fast, defense and counter attacks are lovely. You're always going to be able to easily guide the shuttle to spaces and areas you like with ease. And once the string have settled down after a few days, the 90K Metallic was super enjoyable for me, reminding me lots of the original version of the 90K, albeit just a little bit stiffer. It feels like we're back to the original version, which is the headlighter, faster and crisper version than the 90K 2. The 90K Metallic have perhaps just a touch more headweight compared to the original, but still noticeably head lighter than the 90K 2. And hence I put all three rackets on the Yonex Precision Scan machine to measure its specs, and sure enough the Precision Scan echoed what I had felt in my testing. In terms of headweight, the 90K 2 was head heaviest before the 90K Metallic, coming in second and followed by the original version of the 90K. Victor actually officially classifies the 90K Metallic as an even balanced racket, but I would still put the 90K in the headlight category. The 90K 2 is not headlight, but the original 90K and this 90K Metallic are. In terms of speed, I'd put both the 90K Metallic and original 90K together being equally fast, but if I had to really nitpick, perhaps that original 90K wins by that 0.1%. For stiffness and crisp response, the 90K Metallic is the clear winner here before the original 90K coming in second. The 90K 2 is the softest of the bunch with the free core handle, and in terms of raw power, the 90K 2 will have the most raw power due to its added headweight, and will actually put both the 90K Metallic and 90K Original together as they have almost identical headweight, just different stiffness. If you can leverage that stiffness, you will have no issues finding plenty of power in your shots. I think Victor has done a good job with the 90K Metallic. It fits the Auraspeed series' vision and goal of being a speedy racket. It's finally found its identity again of being a fast, crisp and responsive racket, although the stiffness does carry some demands from players. If you're someone who loves the original 90K, you will like this one, but just make sure you let your strings settle down a bit, or just go down in tension slightly. Plus, you also get the added bonus of this 90K Metallic looking so much better than its previous generation cousins. Let me know what you think with this version of Auraspeed 90K Metallic in the comment section below. Should Victor continue to add the metallic material onto his other rackets, and if you've tried this one already, would you pick this over the original version? Until then, I'll see you in the next one.